He wore a velvet coat from the 1800s. In his pockets, a letter dated 1876, old coins and a receipt from a stable. Seconds later, he was dead. But where had he come from? Today on Mystery History, we're peeling back the layers of one of the strangest stories ever whispered through the alleys of New York. The man who stepped into the future, or out of a legend. You'll discover the facts, the conspiracies, the deeper truth behind the man who didn't belong in time. And by the end you will decide, was Rudolph Fentz real, or something else entirely? If you're drawn to history's strangest unsolved riddles, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This is Mystery History, where the past refuses to stay buried. It's just past 11 p.m. on a quiet summer night in Times Square. Neon lights buzz above the streetcars. The city never sleeps, and yet, for a few fleeting moments, it does hold its breath. A man, around 30 years old, appears out of nowhere in the middle of the road. He's dressed in a black Victorian coat, with high-buttoned boots and a top hat that looks like it walked out of 1870s Manhattan. He's confused, eyes wide, turning in circles. Then, screeching tires. A scream. A taxi swerves, but it's too late. Moments later, the man is dead. No ID. No modern wallet. No social security number. But in his pockets, the past. Police at the scene catalog the man's belongings. A copper token for a beer, from a bar that hasn't existed in over 80 years. A bill for the care of a horse, addressed to Rudolph Fentz, dated June 1876. A letter to his wife, written in flowing 19th century script. $70 in outdated currency. A business card with an address no longer listed in city records. But here's where it gets creepier. No missing persons report matches his description. No fingerprints in any system. His clothing is pristine, untouched by time or decay, but unmistakably from a different century. Could this be a reenactor? A prank? A confused mental patient? So the NYPD digs deeper, and finds a name, Rudolph Fentz. But not in 1950. In 1876. Wait, loving this mystery so far? Don't forget to subscribe to Mystery History. We dive deep every week into the stories the textbooks skip. The officers find old census records, buried deep in dusty archives. In them, a man named Rudolph Fentz. Age 29. A resident of New York City. Reported missing one June evening in 1876, after leaving the house for a walk, and never returning. The records show he vanished without a trace. No body. No crime. His wife died believing he'd been robbed, or worse. His disappearance became a minor headline in an old paper, and then was forgotten. Until now. It's a perfect match. The name, the age, even the clothes. It's as if Rudolph Fentz had walked out of 1876, and into 1950. But that's impossible. Or is it? Skeptics quickly pounced. An urban legend, they say. A short story that got taken too seriously. In fact, some claim the whole thing originated from a 1951 magazine piece by science fiction writer Jack Finney, the same author who'd later write The Body Snatchers. But here's the twist. Finney swore it wasn't his creation. He insisted he only adapted a real account that was already circulating. In 2000, a Spanish researcher, Pastor Jimenez, claimed to have found actual police files confirming the Rudolph Fentz case was real, locked in the archives of the NYPD. But then, those files vanished. The researcher recanted. Or was pressured to. No one knows. Did authorities cover it up? Was this time traveler a glitch in reality? Or just a story that refused to stay buried? Hooked yet? Help us keep digging up the truth by subscribing to Mystery History. New strange stories drop every week, and some may hit closer to home than you think. Imagine it. You're walking home one evening in 1876. You tip your hat to the gas lamp lighter. You pass the cobbled streets of New York, when suddenly a light flashes. A sound erupts like thunder. And you're standing beneath neon signs, beside metal beasts speeding through streets paved in black stone. No horses. No familiar sounds. No time to speak. Just panic. And then, darkness. Was Rudolph Fentz the victim of a ripple in time? Did he fall through a thin spot in the world, a wrinkle in dimensions? Or was he a warning, proof that time is not what we think it is? These questions leave even hardened skeptics uneasy. Because even today people claim to see time slips, out-of-place strangers, vintage cars vanishing into fog, or phones picking up strange voices from the past. Is it all imagination? Or is time leaking? So, who was Rudolph Fentz? Was he just a legend born in a pulp magazine? Or a man out of time whose death was his only proof of life? We may never know for sure. But what we do know is this. Stories like Rudolph Fentz don't just entertain us. They haunt us, because deep down we feel that time is stranger than we'll ever understand. So the next time you see someone in a crowd, someone who doesn't quite belong, maybe don't look away too quickly. They might be more than just out of place. They might be out of time. Love stories that bend reality and stir the soul? Then subscribe to Mystery History, because each week, we uncover secrets that were never meant to be found. Hit the bell icon. Subscribe. Share. Stay curious. This is Mystery History, where the past refuses to stay buried.